Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being back for another episode of
Cause you don't know football.
Tariq. Yo, I'm gonna whoop your ass tonight. I am here in what I would normally call sunny California. It is raining cats and dogs. It is pissing and pouring outside right now, but it's good to be down, outside of New Jersey, outside of the New York area. I get to spend some time with the family. My niece is adorable. She's running around this place, so she may or may not come out here. As you can see, my background looks a little different than what we're used to. But Tariq, this is the first time we've done this not side by
Yeah.
side. We are actually in different states right now. How about it?
Listen, man, we trying something new. Well, we didn't have a choice, but we're trying something new this week. We're gonna see
2 weeks
this.
in a row, we did it.
We're gonna see it. We're gonna get it done
Did
because
it.
we need just for our family. All right. So boom.
Yes, we gotta do it.
So you know what time it is, Tim.
Man, Tariq,
let's get to it.
oh man, we're here to talk about football.
Let's get to it. I want to hear
Football.
about our picks from last week. Let's get to it.
I was checking this. I was checking out our straight up picks, right? I do got to look at our other picks, but straight up, just as a quick reminder, I picked Kansas City over Arizona. So did Tariq. We both went 1-1.
Yeah.
Or excuse me, 1-0. We both won those games. Kansas City put a hurting on Arizona. I think Patrick Mahomes had 5 touchdowns. Tyreek who? I don't know. But 5 touchdown passes, right? 7-game. Wild. We both were consensus on this. Ridiculous. 16-17 overtimes. Nobody could make a kick to save their life. Pittsburgh Steelers beat the Cincinnati Bengals. Go ahead. What were you jumping at?
No, I was just going to tell them the stats from the whoop.
Oh.
I don't want to spend too much time on it. There's no need to spend too much time on it.
It was Patrick Holmes. Patrick Holmes doing Patrick Holmes things.
Yeah, 30 for 39, 360 yards passing, and 5 touchdowns, 0 interceptions.
Good.
Golly.
So good. We're going to talk about his game last night. He looked pedestrian. I still think he had 3 touchdowns. Like he was throwing bombs everywhere. Yeah. He looked pedestrian to that last week's game.
Yeah, I mean, he did have a collective over 100 yards rushing just between all of them. Travis Kelce had 8 receptions for 121 yards. And then Kyler didn't look too good. I mean, it wasn't terrible, but it wasn't good. He went 22 of 34 for 193 yards.
You know what that game? You know what that game is? That game's Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes and just a better team over the Arizona Cardinals, who still aren't.
Wow. Timmy, we lost you a little bit. I'm sure you're about to come right back. Don't even worry about that. But Kyler Murray was 22 of 34 for 193 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions. Yeah, so for what I think what you was going to say, absolutely. Andy Reid.
NFL, yeah.
Okay, we got Timmy back now.
I got you.
Your Wi-Fi caught back up. So, yeah, but it was Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes, better coach, better quarterback against a team that's trying to figure it out, So, boom.
Yeah, no, completely agree. That's exactly what I was saying. And I heard you the whole time. It's just me freezing. Everyone to see that pretty face in still motion or no motion.
Listen, I like to see it. Listen, Timmy, I like to see that pretty face in slow motion too.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. So, can I tell you real quick before you go on to the other games I was jumping the gun on? Tariq, I told you this. I sent you the video. I jumped out of a goddamn airplane last week after we recorded, the day after.
You rolling dolo in different states. You jumping out of planes. Yo, you don't know how to act no more. I don't know what for, bro.
Yo, come on, a little adrenaline rush. Next time we're going together. We're going to jump out of a plane together. We got 60 seconds on a free fall. We'll do some cause you don't know sports in the air.
But we're going to hold the whole stream on the way down. We're just going to talk football the whole way down.
It's going to be more mouth than words because you know what? As much as the adrenaline rush took over, all I saw was ground underneath me. Oh, my God. Where I jumped from, I could see AC, Philly, and the ocean all in the air. It's pretty wild.
That's pretty tough, man. I don't know if you're gonna get me up out of a plane. We'll talk about that off camera. I don't know.
We need a commitment. We need a commitment right now. Tariq, we need a commitment right now off air.
Listen, we'll talk about it over the next couple episodes, and we'll talk about if and how we can get to a commitment, possibly. All right. So
moving on. Game number 2. We both had a consensus pick that was wrong, brother. Pittsburgh beat the Cincinnati Bengals. We both had Cincinnati.
In Cincinnati.
Who the hell would have known Joe Burrow was going to have 4 picks or 5 turnovers total? Cincinnati couldn't kick a field goal to save their life. What was happening in that game? Ridiculous. 417,000 overtimes. It was great. Wonderful.
Listen,
it was great football. It was great football.
Cincinnati's offensive line is picking up right where it left off because it can't block everybody.
Dude, Joe Burrow was on the run, just throwing bombs wherever he could and into the hands of the Pittsburgh Steelers. You talk about Pittsburgh being good outside of Mitch Trubisky. I'm not sure that this last game, defines that. I don't know that they're going to be a team to contend with over the course of the year. But look, they beat a team who I have high hopes for. I have high ambitions for this year, the Cincinnati Bengals. I think Joe Burrow and his team fix it this year, this week and moving forward. But man, that was a rough one. That was just. I love the football aspect of it.
Look at it from this aspect. Mitchell Trubisky went 21-38 for 194 yards, a touchdown. Like they were good except for Mitchell Trubisky. Now Pittsburgh is a team that will compensate for the fact of, hey, our quarterback isn't so great. But I tend to agree with you. But they are something that that everybody needs to worry about.
Yeah, and look, Joe Burrow. I'm looking at this now. This is a ridiculous stat. 33 of 53. Who the hell throws 53 passes in a game? He still went for 338 and 2 touchdowns. Like, that's cool and all, but for 53
but they had to. Pittsburgh went up early. They had no choice. They were not running the ball and getting back in this game.
No, it was done. Yeah, it was done. It was brutal. It was a rough game. It was an entertaining game to watch. But as far as the stats there and who I expected, and we were both wrong on that one. So we got 2 more. We split on the next 2. Wildly enough, right? So it pains me to say, and I was very disappointed in this. The Philadelphia Eagles did beat the Detroit Lions. I was hoping. We talked about this last week. I was hoping the Detroit Lions won. They weren't too far off. I'm not saying, you mentioned this last week that the Lions are just going to be a hard-nosed, like in-your-face, tough to beat week over week, and that's what it looked like last week. Now, Philly's better. Let's just beat it. We'll talk about the Cowboys. They're going to win the division. I'm going to cry. Dak, kill me. But this is where we're at. Philly's going to win the division. They're more talented than the Detroit Lions, even after the Hard Knocks thing. But it was close. It was close. I did pick Philly, you picked Detroit. So we did split there. Brings us both to we ended up 2-2 in the whole picking piece last week. But yeah, it's enough one. So what do we got there on the stats? You got those up for first, all the good stuff. Jalen Hurts. Look, I don't even have these stats in front of me, but anecdotally, all I know, every single time I looked up, Jalen Hurts was on the goddamn run. 10 yards, 12 yards, 15. What is
Look,
dude, what was happening?
The Eagles looked good, but the thing is, here's the thing: Detroit looked good. Like when you look at like the stats, if I told you those stats against a Detroit Lions team, what you think about the Detroit Lions, you would say, oh, they blew them out. Like Jalen Hurts was 18 of 32, 243 yards. Now he didn't have any touchdowns or interceptions, but Miles Sanders had 13 carries, 96 yards. Jalen Hurts had 17 carries for 90 yards. Touchdown. Gainwell, I don't even know who that is. He had a touchdown. Bart Scott, or not Bart Scott, whoever B. Scott is, he had a touchdown. Like they had all these contributions. AJ Brown had 10 receptions for 155 yards.
Well, that's the scary part. That was the pickup of the offseason, right? Like you took an AJ Brown who was, he's probably having a Hall of Fame career. He was an all-star last year with the Tennessee Titans, and then you put him on an Eagles team who's arguably better across the board than the Tennessee Titans. I would say Jalen Hurts probably has more upside than Ryan Tannehill has. And now AJ Brown's there. So
Now,
shoot me and everyone in the NFCs that has to deal with this.
I will say, to me, this was the best game of this weekend. To me.
Yeah, I think it was. I was flipping back from that game in red zone, but I watched most of that game. I didn't watch most of the other games, most of the red zone, but that game had me a bit captivated. There was a lot going on. I think it was really good.
Okay. All right. And last but not least, we had the Green Bay Packers losing to the Minnesota Vikings. Now I want to say something. No.
We split that. I had the Green Bay Packers eating.
Yeah, I had the Minnesota Vikings. That's what I'm saying.
You had the Minnesota. Yeah, so we ended up 2-2 in our picks, yes. But man, brutal. Go.
All right, so I'm telling you from the start, from in the summer, I was saying, Minnesota's going to win this division. Now, come playoff time, Green Bay might have some things figured out, and if they do with these wide receivers, they will be scary. But Minnesota throughout this year, they're way too complete of a team to not win this division this year. That's where I'm at.
No, they have Justin Jefferson, 9 receptions, 184 yards, 2 touchdowns. Who stops that? Who stops JJ? Nobody. Nobody stops this kid. What the hell is that? Stud. Absolute stud. That is, look, Davante Adams is Davante Adams. Green Bay is sorely missing them. But Adam Thielen with the Minnesota Vikings a few years ago had close to, if not the most 100 consecutive yard gains in NFL history. He was somebody close to that. It was like double digits. Pedestrian. You don't even know who Adam Thielen is anymore. Justin Jefferson is here, and he's here to stay.
Talking to me. The Jettas.
you know,
dude. Listen. I understand exactly what you're saying,
dude. So good. What a stud that kid is.
Man, I don't know what you're gonna do with Jettas all year, man. But yeah, he's the stats are the stats. You know what I mean? Like, Aaron Rodgers didn't have a particularly good game.
Well, I feel so bad for that kid. ESPN Sports Center has just been showing that kid drop that ball in his hands on the 5 all week long. And it's not going to stop until he's got to recover. He's going to have to catch a few of them, if not more. And if it doesn't, you know what? They're never going to blame Aaron Rodgers. The dude is a Hall of Famer. He's going to be a stud forever. As much as people like or don't like him, this wide receiving crew is, we talked about it this summer. Who are they? Who actually are they? Like, we don't know. There's no, they're young. You know, they'll come into their own. They'll get there. But right now, man, that whole offense look like they look bad. There's not much there.
Listen. They dropped like 3 passes, and Aaron Rodgers said, "I'm just going to throw it to the running backs the rest of the game because I'm not dealing with this." So so that's what.
No, thank you.
Yeah, I'm not messing with that. All right, cool. So we went
2-2.
So we went 2-2
on our straight ups.
On our straight ups, we went 2-2. All right, boom. Yeah. So talk to us about our spread picks.
We did it. We had some spread picks. You whooped my ass in these spread picks. So I went 0-2 in my spread picks. Just as a reminder, I did pick the Cowboys plus 2.5. They looked like buns before Dak Prescott went out. Now he is out for 6 to 8 weeks. So great. They're going to lose the next, 6 to 8 games. Kill me. Awful. We're not talking about the Cowboys anymore. That's it. I also had the New Orleans Saints, who I actually think won the game. Where is that? Yeah, they won the game, but I'm at a -5.5. And for all of our fans that don't remember, the spread is supposed to equalize a team. So even though the Saints beat the Falcons 27-26, I needed them to beat the Falcons by 6 or more points. And they didn't. So they only beat them by a point. So I lose both those games. I go 0-2. Shoot me in the face.
Well, I went 1-1.
You did go 1-1.
So yeah, so I took a chance on Jacksonville. to not lose by 3 points, and they lost by 6. So
we're going to talk about that in a minute, which is an interest. I want a conversation I'm going to have.
Okay,
go for it.
All right, cool. But I saw this one coming. Cleveland. I said Cleveland's going to win by, I was like, by 1.5. I said they're going to win. I said, so now they only won by 2, but I was right.
No matter. That is a win. That is a W. That is a W.
So we got that. So boom. So just like that. So
I was going to say, before we move into that Commanders game, so I want to talk about Carson Wentz's 4 touchdowns. I want to talk about the fact that I have Christian McCaffrey on one of my teams. And I looked up in the second quarter, third quarter, somewhere around there. That man had 2 carries, yards, and Baker Mayfield had thrown the ball 20 sometimes. Can I ask, what is that? I didn't watch that game closely. I don't know what the game plan was there, but why are we not giving the ball to Christian McCaffrey?
I can tell you the game plan. The game plan was a mistake because it's the same mistake that Cleveland made with Baker Mayfield, which is you think he's good and he's average.
Of course he's average.
Put your game plan around him. And when you put your game plan around Baker Mayfield,
Christian McCaffrey should have 25 touches.
You're not going to want.
I don't care how Christian McCaffrey gets them 25 touches this game, but he needs to have 25. 2 touches, 2 carries. I think it was like 5 touches in the first half is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And then he scored a touchdown. I get it was on the goal line, but come on now. Like, are you kidding me? Get your main feature of this offense, the ball. Like, Baker's supposed to be the compliment. Christian McCaffrey is the man there. Mm-hmm. I know we don't want to get him hurt, but yeah, I was frustrated, man. I lost all 3 of my fantasy games this week too. So
since the beginning of last year, Baker Mayfield is like, it's not a mystery that last year the Browns got significantly better, or the year before that the Browns got significantly better when they decided I'm going to give Baker Mayfield as little bit of chances to make any mistakes as possible. He's not making any decisions. He's not doing nothing. You hand this ball off and you get out the way, Baker Mayfield, and that's how we're going to win. And until that changes, that's where I stand.
Tariq, I don't agree with you often, but this one I agree with you on. Get that man out of the way. Baker Mayfield needs to just be a person to shuttle the ball to Christian McCaffrey. Christian McCaffrey should just go to the Wildcat, take the snaps himself. We don't need anyone else there. Just give him the ball. 100% of the snaps go to Christian McCaffrey, and you'll have a better chance as a Carolina Panthers.
Okay.
All right. The last thing I want to say is, how about your man Carson Wentz? 4 TDs.
I mean, you know,
313 yards. He did throw the ball 41 times, but 27 of those were completed. Mm-hmm. I think I'm not saying that's a turnaround, but that's good for him.
I want to see him do that against good teams. I want to see him because when we needed him to do that against good teams, he threw for 57 yards. So I want to see him. I want to see them. Listen, all I want is for Washington's game plan to be, we're going to ask Carson Wentz to throw the ball 41 times, and I want to see how many times that's successful. That's it, because I know that's not the game plan to do. Okay,
he's got to start throwing a lot of picks in that. But yeah, you know, the only reason I even paid attention to that stat completely, one, just looking at it because we just we bet them, but 2, some asshole started Carson Wentz against me in a fantasy league this week, and I got crushed because like what? Like okay, here we go. 35 points or whatever in fantasy, and just got smoked. Carson Wentz was the culprit of that. So, but good for him. We'll see if he does it again. I hope he doesn't, because you know what? Your prediction of the Cowboys coming in 3rd in that division is quickly becoming realistic as they become 4th in that division in the NFC North.
Who saw that coming?
Come on, I go into these seasons with rosy glasses on, thinking that no injuries are going to happen. Especially not 3rd quarter of week 1. Kill me. Brutal.
Yeah, unfortunately. Brutal. Don't let Tom come to your stadium, because he's just gonna ruin some shit. All right, cool. So boom. So that's week 1 in the books. Let's talk about it. So let's talk about week 2. What games we got? What we got to look at in week 2?
Well, before we jump into the actual ones we're going to talk about as moving forward, I think last night was I think that's it's a division. It's a big game. It's a big game last night. I'll say two things about it.
I had to get my Ric Flair on Tim. Woo!
Yeah, I'm gonna say two things about this. One, Justin Herbert's a stud. My man was playing through like broken ribs, like he might and still throwing darts. Mm-hmm. But two, I'm really nervous for everyone in the league if Patrick Mahomes can start off so pedestrian, so slow. That offense can start off so slow. They were down what 10 to 10 nothing, 17 nothing in the second quarter at some point last night. And then they just shut them down, started scoring points, and said, all right, we're the Kansas City Chiefs, so go fuck yourself. And like, here we are, you know, it's a close game, 27-24. But, you know, even though 27-24 is closer than what it actually was, because it was 27-17 with minute 12 left in the game, right? So, of course, Chargers scored great, you know, looked like they're coming back. But as I was watching that end of the fourth quarter, at no point was like, oh, they're going to actually win this game. It just was like, oh, you're putting up points to make it look close. So, like I said, Justin Herbert, stud. He's going to be a stud for a long time in this league. But Patrick Mahomes is still a bad man. He might be the baddest man in the league right now.
All right, can I say something? I need to say.
I mean, you're going to be wrong most likely, but yes, say it.
I'm saying it anyway. This games like this. This is why I said. Remember in the beginning of the season, we said who was when we did the top 5 quarterbacks, and you said you would take Josh Allen over Patrick Mahomes, and I said no, I'm gonna take Pat. I'm taking Pat over Josh. See, this is the difference, and this is the separation between Patrick Mahomes and Justin Herbert. See, this is the thing. This is my thing. When you looked at the game through 3.5 quarters, to be honest, it looked easy for how Justin Herbert was able to go through the Chiefs' defense without even a number 1 wide receiver. It looked easy. Their defense is not good. The fact of the matter is the Chiefs should have lost this game, even being up 10 in they should have lost this game. And what I'm saying is this is why you have Patrick Mahomes. This is what happens when you pay a great quarterback great money as opposed to a good quarterback great money. Like, he should have lost. This is an MVP performance from Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah. So I agree with that. We've talked about this multiple times. I always pick the better quarterbacks in games. If I had to pick that game straight up last night, I would have picked so I would like to let you know. Let me finish that first off. Kansas City, I would have picked them straight up. I have a question for you.
Shoot.
You know the results. Pre-game, who would you pick on that spread? And with that, do you know what the spread was pre-game?
I don't remember what the spread was pre-game. Can you remind me? But I'll be honest.
3.5.
By who?
Kansas City. -3.5. Kansas City were the favorites.
I probably would not have picked Kansas City 3.5 because I told you my 0 is actually 3. 3 points is my 0.
So you would have sweated the entire fourth quarter. I sat there last night and watched this going. That touchdown at 1 minute and 12 seconds by Justin Herbert, rightfully so. They went down. They did what they needed to do in that time frame. Destroyed. But It's exactly what Vegas wanted and needed. It put so many people.
Honestly, I'm not. If I'm gonna be honest, Tim, I'm not sure if I would have picked Kansas City to win the game. Only because, not because I think that they're worse, just because I'm like, I really think like people are really hyping this Justin Herbert. Like, people are like, listen, and they got this, their roster is superior, and I think it's taking a minute for offenses to catch up and figure out their timing, whereas defenses are defenses, and I felt their defense with the Chargers defense was good.
Look, stat-wise, Justin Herbert was 33 of 48, 334 yards, 3 touchdowns, and an interception. Challenge is that interception went for 99 yards and was returned for a touchdown. It was a pick 6. Mm-hmm. Like, that shit just sucks. And semi-unlucky, right? Like that's a huge game change. They were going in to score again and take a bigger lead. And pick 6, completely dissuaded on this call day. But as you said, Patrick Mahomes went 24-35, 235 yards, which is nothing for what he needs. 2 touchdowns, and he was able to just manage that game the way it moved. Here's the thing. I don't need you as a quarterback. This is the Tom Brady thing. I don't need you as a quarterback to have stats. I need you to win football games. Tom Brady has stats, but he also wins football games. And was last night for Patrick Mahomes. He won it. He knew how to win it. His defense got behind him. They did what they needed to win a football game. And that's scary for the entire league because here we go again.
If he's not losing games that he's
Tyreek Hill
lose, if Patrick Mahomes is not losing games in which the team is playing better than his team, then I don't know what to do with that. That is scary.
If he's winning those games and Patrick Mahomes isn't Superman, when he's Superman, it's game over.
That's why I'm rolling with Pat. Big Pat. That's what I call him. Big Pat. All right. Cool.
I don't know. We're gonna see Josh Allen again in week 2, but oh my God. So I'd like to get this out. We're moving into our picks. The picks for the next week. I don't want to talk about this, but the Cincinnati Bengals are going to put a spanking on my Dallas Cowboys. And that's all I want to say about that. Let's move on. I have no hope in Cooper Rush.
You just threw in the towel. Don't throw in the towel. Timmy, don't throw in the towel, man.
So quick, Dunzo.
Don't throw in the towel. Don't throw in the towel. I'm not accepting that. Don't throw in the towel. I can't. I know how you talk.
Catch me next. Okay. Well, let's go back. Let's talk about them again next week. And after I see how Cooper Rush plays, because oh my God, I might have to rethink my trip to them on Christmas Eve. If they're 3-12 at that time, I don't even know if I want to go to Dallas.
Listen, just remember who your friends are. Sometimes your real friends will tell you something that you don't want to hear. And I want you to remember, Timmy, we've known each other since we were 12 years old. Well, we was about 12 years old. I've always been your friend, okay? I'm going to tell you the truth, even if you don't want to hear it. But you're brutal. You said, forget this. Okay.
Brutal.
All right. So
I told you the happiest time as a Cowboys fan is preseason. So
all right, cool. So from here, we're gonna let's pick 3 games and we'll talk about them.
Yeah, so we're gonna talk about so we're running out of time, so let's do this quick. But let's pick 3 games, right? You pick first. We'll pick the ones that we think are most prominent, right? Who we think we should watch this week. But we got about 10 minutes left right now on our recording. So you go first, all right?
All right. I'm rolling. So you're gonna pick 2 and I'm gonna pick 2?
Yeah, we'll just go back and
forth. All right, cool. So the first game I'm gonna pick that I'm interested in is Dolphins-Ravens. We're gonna talk about that next week.
So we got Dolphins-Ravens, right? So both 1-1.
Yeah.
I think this is going to be an interesting one. I think Lamar Jackson had himself a reasonably good game last week. I mean, it was good enough. He won.
I just want to see it.
Yeah, no contract. I said this before we jumped on. I'm very interested to see the comment where it hands out from Lamar Jackson saying, "We'll see if I play my contract out or play out this year without a contract."
I love it. Don't stop lowballing the man and pay the man.
Well, the big thing there is he wants more guaranteed than everyone's got. So we'll see. I mean, it's a lot.
When you say everyone's got, everyone's doesn't got an MVP in this league, and he's got that.
You're right.
So when who are you comparing him to? Because
we're still talking $280 million.
Right. So if Dak is getting around 40, and if Kyler Murray's getting around 40, and you know what I mean, all these people, there's more people that ain't did what he did.
So who do you got in that game? Do you think Lamar takes it? You think Tua pulls it out? Tua he won last week.
I'm rolling with the Ravens. I'm rolling with Lamar, unless he don't play.
It's in Baltimore too, right? Nah, he should play. I think he's going to play this game. There's no word that he's not, but they did talk about it. I will say, ooh, Did you bring the spread into this? You look at the spread at all?
Nah, that's for different games. That's for different.
I know, but that's just
this is just straight up. This is straight up.
This is a close one, man. I know, straight up. So you got the Ravens. Look, I gotta lean with you on that one. I think the Ravens do pull this out. I think the Ravens last week played themselves a solid game to win that football game, and I just don't know that the Miami Dolphins are there yet. I don't know. I just maybe that's just my bias. The Ravens played a solid game last week, but it was against the Jets. So take that for what it is. I would lean the Ravens.
Oh, you might be breaking up.
Well, I always go back to quarterbacks. I think Lamar Jackson is clearly the better. 23 for 270 yards. Can you still hear me there, Tyreek?
Yep, I can still hear you.
Okay, great. I'm a little delayed, it sounds like. All right, let me write this down for us. We got Ravens over the Dolphins.
All right, so we agree on that one. All right, so what's the next one we got?
All right, the next one I'm actually interested in. Where did I have this? This is the interesting one for me, right? I know this isn't fancy or sexy. The Commanders versus the Detroit Lions.
Okay.
Oh, crazy! I know, definitely not fancy. Like
it's not
Carson
fancy,
Wentz,
but like
it's Carson Wentz versus the Detroit Lions. Like, who the hell cares? But Carson, I mentioned earlier, Wentz had
stop putting Carson Wentz in the forefront of this. He's just a guy. Okay, he's just a guy. All right, so who you got then? Who you got?
But here's why it's interesting to me. I know I said Carson Wentz against the Lions, but it's Carson Wentz against Jared Goff, right? These are two prominent first round picks. Were they both number ones? One of them was. Yeah. They both. Either way, not on the teams they were drafted by. Both had runs. Jared Goff actually went to a Super Bowl, and now he's with the Detroit Lions. But I think it's interesting. To your point, as we talked about last week, Detroit Lions they're playing hard-nosed football, and I want to see how this turns out. Hard-nosed football against the Commanders, who they had themselves an okay game last week. Remind me who they beat last week? It was someone not great, but they beat them, and that's all that matters, right?
Wasn't no. Who did they beat? They beat Jacksonville.
They beat Jacksonville, right? So, look, I'm interested to see where this goes. I personally, at this moment, I'm going to say Carson Wentz goes 2-0.
Ooh, that's I'm glad that you said that because I'm rolling with Detroit at home. That's where I'm rolling. Okay, so you can jot that.
All right,
sir.
I got you. You got Lions, right? All right, perfect.
All right. So for the last game of just a straight up picks, I'm talking about this Bucs Saints game, and I'm saying that
I know it's right there
because the Saints have had the Bucs number. You know what I mean? Like they've had the especially in the regular season. Like I think the only time the Bucs beat the Saints since Tom Brady's been there has been the one time in the playoffs. But I'm thinking about that.
You're going the Saints? You're going the Saints here?
I think.
Man, I agree with you. I think this game's going to be good. I think it's going to be a game that we need to watch. My one thing that I'm trying to find right, the Bucs, from what I heard earlier this week, legit, like they don't have a wide receiver like that has started a game since entire receiving crew is hurt. Russell Gage, Julio Jones, Perryman, Nicole. Oh, they must have moved some of these man boys because Evans was on this recently. They were all on this, so they must have changed this as of today. So that'll be interesting. But I will say, you got Jameis Winston that's questionable. I'm sure he's going to play, but so you got the Saints going with this game. Is that what I heard? Jarvis Landry had 114 yards last week.
I'm going Saints.
Just for contrarianism, I'm going Bucs. I will say part of that is because of quarterback reasoning, but All right. So
Okay.
you got Ravens, Lions, Saints. I got Ravens, Commanders, Bucks this week. How about it? I know we're coming up on time, but Tariq, I think that's
we can get 2 spread picks in. Let's just get 2 spread.
2 spread. Okay. Let's go. You start with your spreads. Oh man, we're gonna need our audience. Please help me with this. I got my ass kicked last week.
So here's one, and it goes without saying, and I'm saying it right now. The Indianapolis Colts are favored in Jacksonville by 3, and I'm saying we're listen. Last year it happened in Jacksonville. I don't know what the fuck goes on when we go to Jacksonville, but this is the game that we're done with that shit. Okay. Now technically speaking, we didn't go 0-1. Now I don't know how the hell we tied the Texans, but however we are killing demons. Is what I'm saying. What I'm saying is we're killing demons. -3 at Jacksonville. We're going to cover that. Let's go.
I hate you for this because that was my game I was going to go with. I also agree that Indy will cover that 3. But you are, as a stat you made last week, Indy is 8-1 now in the last 9 performances, which is an incredible stat, by the way. I told you last week, hammer the Texans as a better. And I didn't. No, I'm just saying as a better. That is a stat you hold and latch onto, and I did not have them, even though I knew I should have.
All right, quickly, let's hurry up. We got 1 minute. Let's finish this up.
I'm going Seahawks. Do not lose by 9.5 to the 49ers.
Okay.
In San Francisco. So I got the Seahawks plus 9.5. I think the Seahawks looked okay enough. And I don't think the 49ers were convincing enough in that. I mean, they lost to Chicago. I know it was a weird game, but that's what I got.
All right, cool. All right, so let's just end it there because we really don't have time to finish this out. So we did the best we could. Next week, we're going to come better with this situation. And we know, now that we know how to figure this out, we know what we're doing here, okay?
I got to say, we look good on this video call, though. All right, brother Tariq. I'll talk to you, man.
All right, man. This is your boy Tariq. And that's Tim.
Take it easy. Talk to you guys soon.
Take it easy, brother. Enjoy Florida. We'll talk soon.